All right, well, welcome again, everyone, and welcome to our special class of 1970. What a year to be celebrating your 50th reunion. My name is Adrienne Teague, and I am so proud to serve you as the Executive Director of Alumni Engagement here at Mary Baldwin University. I took this position back in November of last year, and it has been a wonderful, albeit very different year in my tenure of working in higher education, but it is just been a truly, truly wonderful experience. And I think I have heard from several alumni say just what a special place that this is. And I absolutely 100% concur. It is just a place unlike any other. And I'm so proud to be here with you. I'm just remiss that we are not able to do this celebration with you in person. It, as my staff can say, it brings tears to my eyes because I know how special these moments are and how special this place is to each of you. But we have just been blessed beyond being with the folks who have served on your planning committee for this 50th reunion to really help shape and make this reunion special. And so we're just so grateful for all that you all have done to be with us throughout the months since April and beyond to keep those connections in the spirit of Mary Baldwin alive through our various virtual programs. And additionally, we are proud as the Office of Alumni Engagement to offer to all of our members of the Alumni Association a brand new online built for alumni website that has a community login portal that allows alumni to connect with one another via a searchable online directory. So you can search all those lost alumni that you want to connect with, update your information, submit and share and view class notes, and stay in touch with one another related to reunion activities such as this one on your very own class page. And so the site was built with the support and guidance of alumni volunteers who served on our Alumni Communications Committee. And our volunteers, especially our alumni volunteers here at Mary Baldwin, they play such an important and a pivotal role in helping the university to shape and deliver our alumni programs and beyond. This evening's program especially would not be possible without the special efforts, guidance, and support of your class of 1970 50th Reunion Planning Committee. Each of these ladies have been volunteering with us since this time last fall, if you can believe it, working to plan not one, but two in-person reunion gatherings, and then accepting with grace the task of helping us pivot this October's program from an in-person reunion to an online ceremony that is worthy of you, our Baldwin girls on the go. So please join me by applause just in offering our thanks to these alumni who have gone above and beyond in serving you on your 50th Reunion Planning Committee. Liz Jennings-Shoup, our chair, Kathy Crawford Aerosmith, Leslie Freeman, Candy Snodgrass-Gessner, Jean Cameron Granger, Zoe Kirby-Holmes, Jill Eisman-Lewis, Polly Ann Rulak, and Janie Husk Satterfield. Thank you all so much. You hold a very special place in my heart, and I'm so glad that I got to work with you all this year in so many different ways. I want to now invite Liz to come forth and just share a few words of welcome on behalf of the Planning Committee with each of you.
I need to know that I was not on the initial plan, and the only reason that I'm doing this welcome is because everybody was freaking about the possibility of the technology, and I said, guys, let's realize that this is 2020, and the class of 70 has never been a run-of-the-mill type class, and therefore we were and always are unique, as an individual and as a group. The cancellation of our April on-campus 50th reunion did challenge our committee, but we wanted and needed to celebrate our 50th year and our 50th year. And the Alumni Office has bent over backwards to make that happen. And we need to be eternally grateful for that. And I thank them now and always. But how blessed, guys, stop and think about this, how blessed we are. And how blessed we were to share those days at Mary Baldwin College with one another. And then move on to the bigger world, but never forgetting the hills where beauty dwells. Tonight, I do hope that we can reconnect not only with our classmates, but with our school, where still The search for learning beckons. And also remember that friendship, honor, sorrow, laughter are the ways by which we learned back then and today. I love you guys, and I'm so excited to see you. And I will toast you with my Mary Baldwin glass that you can't see because I'm at the beach. Can you see my Mary Baldwin glass? Okay, somebody remind me the name of this marvelous gal that does these, hand paints these. She's one of our alums.
The Lolita wine glasses.
They are Lolita wine glasses, and they are more fun. So I love you all. We're moving on now.
Thank you so much, Liz. I just want to share with you all. So Liz, as you all know, was a former alumni director, and she took the time in my first couple of months to drive up and be here with me and to sit down, treat me to lunch, and just have one of the most heartfelt chats that I've ever had with a grad. And so, Liz, I thank you so much for your leadership, and you have always had just a ray of light when you show up to things. So, lady, I'm so proud to be here with you tonight, and I thank you for all that you do to serve your alma mater in the so many different ways that you show up for us. So thanks so much, Liz. So now we are excited to share with you a special photo presentation of images that we were able to capture from the Blue Stockings annuals, from historical clippings and memorabilia and other photos that were submitted to us by your classmates for this reunion. So please enjoy this very special Then and Now presentation. So thank you all so much for just taking a walk down memory lane with us. I hope that this just rekindled some very fond memories that you all have, and I hope that you are excited to share those at the end of our program when we have our social hour with your classmates. And we'll keep this on standby so that if you want us to recall a particular image to go back to, we are more than happy to do that. So now it is my pleasure to introduce to you Gabby Gelzer-McCree, class of 1983, who serves proudly and humbly and with grace as our chair of our Board of Trustees. And Gabby is also one of those gems that I'm so delighted to have the opportunity to work with. So Gabby, welcome tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. And what a great honor it is for me to be here. And I am not like Liz Shoup in Hawaii, but here would be what my background would look like, my Mary Baldwin office painting or etching. But good evening. As I was introduced, I'm Zooming from Rye, New York. My name is Gabby McCree. My real name is Gabrielle, but everybody calls me Gabby. And I'm just honored to congratulate your class tonight and to also congratulate the organizers of this wonderful celebration. I graduated in '83. Having read your bios, I share with you wonderful memories and experiences. I formed lifelong friendships. In fact, my first year roommate, Helen Stevens Forrester, sits on the Board of Trustees with me. I have attended every fifth year reunion, plus many others, and kept in close contact with many of my Mary Baldwin friends, as well as the former Dean of Students, Mona Olds, and the parents of my other roommate. I loved Mary Baldwin because of its personalized and caring environment, its beautiful setting, and its distinctive history. Here, I discovered my intellectual interests. I developed my love of learning, as well as something about leadership and, well, actually life. I was actively involved on campus in the choir. I served on the honor council. I played a role in our sophomore show, albeit badly probably, and was the student government president. I lived in Mary Julia Baldwin's room, and I had a memorable summer abroad experience at Oxford University. I congratulate your class on behalf of the Mary Baldwin University Board of Trustees. One of my greatest honors and inspirations as a board member for the past 6 years is the opportunity to meet interesting alum from every generation, to get to know some of our students, our talented faculty and staff, and to serve alongside our visionary and inspiring longstanding president. I ask you to join us tonight and in your days ahead, demonstrating your gratitude for your excellent Mary Baldwin education. You can do this by getting to know the Mary Baldwin of today, by learning about its vision to equip students for the future. In addition to the residential undergraduates, you may recall that half of our graduates, now including men and women and students of all ages, attend well-known signature programs, are enrolled in our programs preparing for high-demand career tracks, or attend other specialized graduate and online programs. And like your generation, Mary Baldwin students benefit from discovering their potential here through a personalized and supportive educational experience. Like you, they become leaders in their communities, in their professions, among their families and beyond, all the while making a meaningful contribution to the world. I am proud that our student body reflects the rich diversity of our country and will solve problems of tomorrow. Some things may look and feel different from your time here, but there is a palpable connection between the class of 1970 and the students of tomorrow. I am proud to celebrate this milestone with your class virtually. And because Mary Baldwin continues to navigate through challenging times, being innovative and focused and determined, a bit like the little engine that could, they will crest the hill because of support from alumni like you. I welcome a conversation with any of you. Just contact Adrian and I'd be happy to set up a call. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Fox, the 9th president of Mary Baldwin University, to provide us with a university update and officiate the induction of the class of 1970 into the Grafton Society. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby, and good evening, everybody. It is so wonderful to see you. I mean, we've enjoyed so many great times together. I look out and I'm so glad to know each of your faces and to think about the reunions we've celebrated together. I admire your tenacity as well as everything that we're doing to be able to have this evening tonight. I know we had wished that we could be together, but I know that we will be again. So I honor you for that. And I want to bring you a little bit of the present because there's just so much to share. And I promise I won't do this at length, even though I would actually like to do that because there's so much to say. But let me give you a little bit of a preview here. As soon as I get this up here, right? Adrian, is that looking well? Is that good?
You are good to go, Dr. Fox.
Great. So we do congratulate you. We're so proud of each of you this evening. And you know that these hills of Mary Baldwin always welcome you home. And I have to say that if we were here in person, there could not have been a more glorious day, like 2 or 3 days a year, where it's 80 degrees, where the sky is very blue with just enough clouds, where it's at the peak of fall foliage. And everything seems to have that wonderful and special magic of Mary Baldwin. It's that kind of day here. So kind of go to your special place. Remember a day like that. You know, whether you're here in person or whether you're here in spirit, it's always there. And I do want to share with you some of what we've been doing this year, but know as we do that, that what you're going to see in the present is the continuity of what you experienced. You know, that sense of empowerment in our women-centered legacy, in that personal connection that you had to each other, which exists to tonight and beyond, and all the special connections that you had with faculty, even though Mary Baldwin University has changed. Those things have not changed, nor has our mission going forward. So it is our 179th academic year. We celebrate every year, but this year we have a couple of special milestones. It's the 35th anniversary of the beginning of the program for the exceptionally gifted. So here what you see on the left is the first brave class of PEGs. And that's the front porch of Tullidge Residence Hall, where they had their first program, of course, juxtaposed on the left with the new residence hall that was opened in 2002, just beyond the Pierce Science Center. And it's also the 25th anniversary of the Virginia Women's Institute for Leadership. So Dr. Tyson is making the announcement about our bold adventure here. And we can see in this picture on the left, this, if you notice this rather diminutive young woman in the front saluting the officer, that was Trimble Bailey then, who's Trimble Bailey Spitzer now. She received a full medical scholarship through the Army, and she is the chief endocrinologist now for the entire Corps, and she is an amazing woman serving on our board of trustees. And on the right you can see, and many of you I think had the pleasure to know, the many gifts and the brilliance and the leadership of Dr. Brenda Bryant that brought us to the Corps that we have today. So this is graduation last year. You can see Brigadier General Terry Jurek, who leads the Corps now, our graduation ceremony last year with Congressman Ben Klein, and the amazing history of accomplishments already that 25 years in the Corps has brought to us. So we came to the beginning of our 179th year, and every 2 years we set a series of themes, university themes for the year, that rather become the themes of that particular class. So with some prescience, 2 years passed, the theme for this year was set as courage. And what you can see excerpted on the right here is part of the banner for the class of 2023, who bears as their university theme, courage. But for all of us, I think that summoning all these dimensions of courage, definitely to command our presence, as something that we knew was going to test all of us and that would be very much the basis of what we do over the year. I have to say my overarching message tonight is, and I know you'll share this with me, the most amazing admiration and appreciation for every faculty member, every staff member, every student, for all of you, for the support of our alumni and all of our staff here to make us come to a point where I'm pleased to share with you that we've come back to campus we're healthy. Since June, we've had 8 positive COVID cases. We surpassed our record enrollment. We are engaging in advancing aggressively our alumni engagement work, as you know. We launched a campaign. We exceeded our fundraising goal. You know, what we're all feeling in this time, that's a really remarkable accomplishment of courage. So when I gathered the university faculty in August, that had been 114 days since we had to send the students to work off campus. Took that spring transition. In 10 days, every class came online. It was the height of recruiting season. What were we going to do about that? Then we had to continue summer school. May term went online for the very first time. And then we had to bring everybody back in the fall, all the while the regular work of the university continued. But a lot of this is credit due to this pandemic task force led by Dr. Grubel and Brigadier General Jurek, who put together an incredible comprehensive plan that has truly kept all of us healthy on campus. And then each member of the campus contributed. You can see in the upper left there, Dr. Maria Craig is a professor of chemistry, doing that work from home. All of the work of our physical plant staff to keep everything clean. Jim Sconyers in the upper right there put together a package that he mailed to every student so that they would be able to actually physically do their art during May term. And likewise in the lower right there, that Dr. Jennifer Hunt helped students at home to continue with their physician assistant exercises. So everybody pitched in to go forward, including admissions. What were you supposed to do when it was the prime time with a record number of applicants? We couldn't have our wonderful visit days. Well, we had a visit in a box. So we sent all of these materials out to our students, figured out a way to have our virtual commencement. There's Adrian holding that wonderful box that we sent to every graduate. I hope that maybe some of you were able to participate in this. It's nothing like the real thing, but I believe it was meaningful and gratifying in the environment that we're in. So all of that brought us this fall to a record enrollment again. This year we have 2,080 students. We had 2,050 last year. And you can see the number of new residential students of 396 for a total of 970 residential students. And you can see the breakout with our undergraduate online and College of Ed and Shakespeare, the MBA and Murphy-Deming, and the breakdown below of about 40% online and 60% residential. Murphy-Deming was the first to come back to Baldwin in our plan. The new physical and occupational therapy students begin in June. So they came on schedule. These are not pictures of the distance environment. These are older pictures, but they did all come. They had their white coat ceremonies. They started all their classes and began all their work. And then in August, of course, we began to bring back all of our students. And the teams of orientation leaders, they really banded together. You know, there were various steps. See in the upper right there, it says step 2, but in the upper left, it was temperature checks that were going on. It seemed like every 3 minutes somewhere on campus for all of us. The distancing, the ways to move students in safely, to have gatherings of our athletes and orientation activities. In the bottom middle, you can see that beautiful courage and lion theme on their orientation t-shirts. The cheerleaders on the left there and gathering on the lawn. And then as we began to settle into classes, you can see in the upper right that General Jurek and the physical plant team distanced every classroom. Every desk was set precisely 6 or 8 feet apart. Every course was brought online in what's called a hyperflex format so that you could learn it in class. Let's say a class had 30 students. 15 of them came on Tuesday. The other 15 logged in exactly at the same time in their dorm rooms, and then that switches on Thursday. If someone was ill and needed to isolate, then they would stay in their dorm room during that class. And when we needed to hold large events, like in the bottom right there, you can see that we did them all set up and carefully socially distanced. Fall athletics did not happen, though they continued to practice and have esprit de corps. And for the women's soccer team, it was a really wonderful experience for them, but a very difficult situation for Stanton. So we experienced 2 serious downtown floods, and our women's soccer team went down and filled hundreds of sandbags. That really helped save the city from the second flood. We had classes outdoors. They were particularly proud to stand and film this for you. and found many other ways to enjoy the environment. I really love this picture in the upper left there. He's sitting in this beautiful courtyard. This was last week, outside of the administration building, just finding a safe and quiet place. Due to the benevolence of Elia Buck, class of 1951, we were able to also open a campus cupboard. Dining services had to change considerably. You know, no salad bars, no open service bars. Grab and go, you have to make a reservation at a time to come to the dining hall to maintain safe distancings. So for all of those reasons, we wanted to make food available for our students, but it's also been important for our faculty and staff who have suffered a lot of stress in this period. How do you have theater? You put up some tents due to the graciousness of another donor in Rose Terrace, where we had Midsummer Night's Dream and where the choir can practice with their masks on out in an outdoor setting. We had opportunities from our Coalition of Racial and Social Justice for our students to share what was on their hearts and in their minds, because it's a very difficult time for them, as it is for many, in terms of all the confluence of the pandemic and the aspects of and movements for racial and social justice and Black Lives Matter. So you'll see our faculty leaders taking that. But we managed to celebrate our traditions. We couldn't go to the orchard, but we had a grand Apple Day Carnival on a beautiful day. Here's the Baldwin Program Board. And I had to put this in. This is Provost Buckman walking the tightrope in front of the president's house, but you can see what a glorious day it was, and they had a great time. And Founders Day was really special. We just didn't think we could do this virtually. We thought our students needed to have something in person. So you can see in the center there that the V-Will Drum Corps led the students down the curved steps in the bottom right there, and we assembled on the bottom left. They're sitting socially distanced, the seniors. And remember, this is our small class. This is our 137 entering class with our 7 first residential men. This is their graduating class. So we were able, as you can see above, to have a representation of faculty and staff, and 2 of those graduating students spoke, and it was really meaningful and really eloquent. So again, I just give all the credit to everybody here for displaying this courage, because it made us possible to return. You know, we're trying to look down through the fog of the pandemic, but at the same time, we were able to see below that. We were able to look ahead to a vista and think, what does Mary Baldwin need to do in this post-pandemic time? How can we update our strategic plan 2025 in bringing our vision forward as really an innovative national model to produce the kind of inclusive leaders that our society so needs now, in this empowering sense to create value and meaningful change. So we've been focusing on 3 forward-looking initiatives. We'll be launching the Doctorate of Nurse Practitioner programs in the Murphy-Deming College of Health Sciences, working a lot to optimize our residential opportunities to be sure our students have this benefit of a great liberal arts education, but new credentials, new ways of potentially pursuing their work here on over a 12-month period, and really expanding the potential of our 26 current online programs. So just an incredible sense of all these dimensions of courage, gratitude, and thankfulness to everybody here in the Mary Baldwin family, and to all of you for your continued support. So thank you for that time, just to share a little bit about what's going on now. But now, you know, we're really here for you. So this is our time to induct you formally, finally, into the class of 1970, into the Grafton Society, and certainly to do so for the first time in our history through this kind of virtual induction ceremony. I hope we can stop, just take a deep breath, try to feel the spirit of Dr. and Mrs. Grafton in this space tonight in ways that you knew them. I never met Dr. Grafton. I certainly met Mrs. Grafton once, but just imagine how proud they would be of your resilience, of you trying to keep this strong sense of community as a class during a very difficult year. So this, the Grafton Society, constitutes the legacy of extraordinary dedication to Mary Baldwin. 50 years of commitment, exemplified through your lives of honor and integrity. And that's why we're here, to celebrate each of you and the special bonds that you share as a class and with each other. You stop to think for a minute, the Graftons devoted 79 years of their life together to the college. As head of the Department of Sociology, Dr. Grafton was a catalyst of intellectual challenge within the crucible of the classroom. But we all know that he was a purveyor of those beautiful blessings and prayers for all occasions delivered in his timeless verse that we can still take advantage of. And as dean of the college for 40 years, Mrs. Grafton was, as Professor Gordon Page said, absolutely the center of the school. The college revolved around her, not because she insisted that it did, but because everyone loved her. Some say she was the Mary Julia Baldwin of the 20th century. I know that each of you share special memories of the Graftons, and I'm sure that Mrs. Grafton made a special effort that touched each of you. Some of you have been in the president's house to see that portrait of Mrs. Grafton by Horace Day that hangs over the fireplace in the living room. And in that, it depicts her with an outstretched hand, and her hand has a small note in it. This past week, I was visiting with Bertie Smith, and she reminded me that every time she went into Mrs. Grafton's office, Martha had a note ready to hand to her before she came in that contained a special message that was just for her, just the guidance or whatever she needed at the moment. I felt the same way when Ethel Smeek took me to meet Mrs. Grafton in 2003. She had that note for me just before I left. She gave me that note. She was giving me a lot of strong advice about how I should conduct my inauguration in the following next few months. So I conclude this by really wanting to say that I think in so many times, Sam Spencer really summarized it the best when he said, Martha Grafton was one of these exceptional women's college deans in an era when only men were considered able to serve as college presidents. At Mary Baldwin, presidents came and went. But for half a century, it was Dean Grafton who gave the college continuity and stability. Today, you and hundreds of other women in this country and abroad look to her as a primary resource of the values and standards that guide our lives. Thank you, Sam, for those really beautiful words. So I'm going to ask Adrian now to facilitate us in the official induction ceremony.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fox. So at this time, we will ask you all to prepare your medallions as we get ready to begin the induction ceremony. So what you will find is in the next section, your name will be called in alphabetical order by last name. A slide will appear to introduce you to your classmates, and Dr. Fox will read an introduction of you, which includes the memories that you submitted at the time of your registration for tonight. As your name and introduction are being read, we invite you to place your Grafton Society medallion around your neck. This is an honor we are remiss not to be able to do in person this year. But at the close of this induction ceremony, we will pause for a group photo with classmates donning your medallions. And if you have not yet received your medallion, please keep watch on your mailbox as they are on their way to you. And I will turn it over to Dr. Fox to lead us in our induction ceremony.
So thank you, Adrian. I think we have a slide for every individual here, correct? Shall we begin? So Kathy remembers fondly the yellow buildings of our beloved Stanton campus against adorning blue skies, and it was such a great day like that today. She spent hours studying in the library until it closed. And Kathy shares with us the memory of her senior year in 2012. So congratulations, Kathy. Bart brings her memories of truck rolls from W&L and UVA, which she says in jest, what a zoo. Congratulations, Bart. Carolyn shares with us this evening her special memories of having been a part of the sophomore show, Fiorello. She also recalls spending her junior year in Spain with fondness. Congratulations, Carolyn. Cassie shares that the education and self-discipline that she gained from Mary Baldwin allowed her to transition to Indiana University, a much larger school, to successfully pursue her master's degree in college student personnel. While here at Mary Baldwin, Kathy worked in the admissions office alongside Ellen Holtz, Ms. Hillhouse, and Jack Blackburn, which was a transformative experience leading to her career as an academic advisor, coach, and consultant for more than 30 years. Congratulations, Kathy. Emily is not able to join us this evening, but she shares that it was a privilege to live, laugh, and learn with such awesome young women and great class sponsors in Mr. and Mrs. Gordon Page. She remembers the class gatherings that included singing your class song, which with words printed and a little help from classmates, she is still able to sing today. Emily is grateful for the lifelong friends she has made in her classmates. We send our congratulations to Emily. Jane loved being in smaller class settings here at Mary Baldwin. She shares fond memories of wonderful friends and caring, dedicated faculty during her times here. She also received medical technology training at King's Daughters Hospital, which provided a meaningful first career for her. Congratulations, Jane. Julie is also unable to join us this evening, but she recalls her years at Mary Baldwin as very happy ones. The times were challenging academically, but enjoyable socially. When she looks back on the memories she made, she says that they continue to put a smile on her face. We send our congratulations to Julie. Ray is also unable to join us tonight, but she sends warm thoughts to you saying, even though I was only there a year, I have maintained lifelong friendships with several of you, my classmates. We send our congratulations to Ray. Cindy loved making so many memories while here at Mary Baldwin. She shares her love of Apple Day, being a member of the choir, the Pages, and going to chapel together. Congratulations, Cindy. For Lynn, the Mary Baldwin crest and motto, not for time, but for eternity, continue to mean so much to her today. She cherishes her memories of the faculty, the campus, and the education she received within the Presbyterian values system. Lynn believes in lifelong learning to better prepare herself to adjust to the ever-changing world, and she is amazed by the global picture that technology has provided to us all. Congratulations, Lynn. Leslie looks back at her experience at Mary Baldwin fondly and reflectively, remembering key milestone moments in our nation's history, such as the Vietnam War, Kent State, and the Civil Rights Movement. She remembers letting off steam one night during spring exams and waking Mrs. Parker with the sounds of pots banging and cheering, while also serenading Miss Parker with a tune, only to soon be calmly dispersed a little while later. Congratulations, Leslie. Candy recalls celebrating Apple Day, choir performances and trips, also the Fiorello Sophomore Show, chapel, and weekend road trips to UVA and WNL. She shares special connections with Ma and Pa Page, Dr. Kurt Kier, the Eta Betas, and those at the Goethe Institute in Germany, where she was able to study German, and I was too, and work on an early IBM computer with Professor Booth. Congratulations, Candy. Jean remembers living in the French house her sophomore year and being part of the Fiorello Sophomore Show. She spent her junior year in Paris and that particular summer in Germany with her college programs. Congratulations, Jean. While Kathy joins us this evening, most of her memories she made at Mary Baldwin are associated with the class of 1969 and their activities. However, she remains proud to have graduated with the class of 1970 and had the honor of serving as the class marshal her senior year. Congratulations, Kathy. Liz shares that she had a wonderful 4 years while at Mary Baldwin. She remembers great friends, wonderful professors, and an excellent experience. She especially loves singing in the choir under the director of Mr. Page and having great fun in the sophomore show. Liz was also an Eta Beta while here and says that she would not have missed that experience for the world. Congratulations, Liz. Zoe has made lifelong friends whom she loves seeing every 5 years. She looks back at her time at Mary Baldwin and shares her joy of living in the Spanish house, celebrating her first Earth Day, walking to Trinity Episcopal Church for the 8 a.m. service, then promptly going back to bed afterwards. She also recalls traveling abroad to spend an academic year in Madrid with Dorothy Mulberry and traveling around Europe during Christmas break with Carolyn Bass. While here, I guess I should say, she dated at VMI, where she met her future husband, Ed Holmes. Congratulations, Zoe. Diane shares her memories of Fiorello. This is a really big thing, Fiorello. I really think we have to hear more about this Fiorello. Anyway, Diane shares her memories of Fiorello alongside all of the other great shows and presentations throughout her years at Mary Baldwin. She was not fond of Saturday classes, but loved singing in Hunt Dining Hall before dinner. Diane was a fan of the great classes she took and fun bridge games played in the dorms. She recalls how beautiful Stanton was and is, especially at this time of year. Congratulations, Diane. Patsy brings to us scrumptious memories of fried chicken, special lattes, and white tablecloths and napkins. She was fond of the professors who really cared about their students in small classes, especially freshman history professor Robert LaFleur. She enjoyed spending time with Hattie in Spencer dorm and being able to set up her own schedule for exams, while also serving on phone duty. Congratulations, Patsy. Martha had a wonderful and memorable 4 years at Mary Baldwin, where she made lifelong friends. She had the honor of representing the class by speaking at graduation. She remembers the building of the library, changes to social rules that dissipated by the time of her graduation. She remembers welcoming the first student of color in the freshman class during her senior year, and she continues to be proud of the progress and innovation that has brought about MBU's university status. Thank you and congratulations, Martha. Becca is unable to be with us this evening, but she sends her appreciation for the ability to create wonderful and lasting lifelong friends with so many of her dear classmates. We send our congratulations to Becca. Jill heard about Mary Baldwin because of the tennis program. Her parents brought her down for an interview where she fell in love with the college. She remembers the tennis coach, Dr. Donnelly, and Mrs. Walsh driving the team up to New York to play in the fall at a tournament at Forest Hills. Much to her surprise, Jill and her doubles partner, Kit O'Bannon, won the title. Congratulations, Jill. Zan shares with us her love of being in the classroom during her senior year, with special fondness for Professor Menk and the enjoyable and engaging history senior seminars. Congratulations, Zan. Peggy remembers late night conversations in the dorm, which have led to lasting friendships and brilliant professors who motivated her. She takes us to warmer times as she recalls sunbathing at Rose Terrace and dressing up for Sunday dinner. Peggy enjoyed so many of Mary Baldwin's traditions, such as Apple Day, the fall in the valley, and the snow covering the hills of campus, and 1,000 other memories that still make her smile after all these years. Congratulations, Peggy. Connie wraps up her fondest memory at Mary Baldwin in one simple word: España. Congratulations, Connie. Jean says her favorite memory was the smile that her father wore her freshman year as they hauled her bags up to the top floor of McClung, where they were greeted by the calls of "man on the floor." The revelation came to him that his little Peep was going to indeed be safe so far away from home. Congratulations, Jean. Emily shares good memories with both classes of 1969 and 70, as she was able to fast track through her college experience at Mary Baldwin. The fast tracked experience allowed Emily to be able to go on to UVA for med tech school. Congratulations, Emily. Polly shares that her time at Mary Baldwin gave her clear, solid learning opportunities, both in class and frequent opportunities to use and compare that knowledge in many walks of life. She remembers serving as editor of Campus Comments, working, and her role as an Eta Beta, all of which played a significant role in providing her with an in-depth look at what the world outside of Mary Baldwin held for her and others. She shares that is so thankful for the experience of having been here at Mary Baldwin. Congratulations, Polly. Lisa looks back fondly on the many wonderful friends she made during her time at Hilltop. She's still in touch with Gare, Hartley, Martha Booth, Stephanie T.C. Brandt, and Jean Granger. She remembers her precious classmate, Travis Taylor, whom the class lost several years ago. Congratulations, Lisa. Janie holds only dear and good memories of her time at Mary Baldwin. She looks back warmly on the time spent with so many classmates, both while she was here as a student, but also with the continued relationships that envelop and grow throughout the years and that are rekindled at every reunion. Congratulations, Janie. Winfrey shares her memories of the excitement of arriving freshman year and meeting people in her hall in South Bailey. The years hold so many special memories for her, including Apple Day at the Orchard, having to make approved housing reservations, the sophomore show, looking up at the senior class, and being able to get to know the professors closely in the small classes. Congratulations, Winfrey. Diane is unable to join us this evening, but she sends her well wishes to this grand group of women who have been fortunate to grow up together and continue to be even better as the years go by. She thanks Mary Baldwin for being the launching pad to the success of her career, as well as her classmates who do good things in the world. She's incredibly appreciative for her years at Mary Baldwin, for the staff, professors, and students, and the natural beauty surrounding the campus. We send our congratulations to Diane. Well, Liz, here's Liz. Liz, I have to tell you, I've always adored this photo. Liz looks back on her time here at Mary Baldwin and remembers the hills, the laughter, the fun, and the traditions like Apple Day, sophomore show, and junior dance day. Liz is appreciative for the academic challenges and lifelong friends that were brought to her from her alma mater. She remembers with a special affection her time in the choir on the direction of Gordon Page, thanking both Pa and Ma Page for becoming like second parents to her and grandparents to her son, Scott. Liz has a lifelong love of her alma mater and all that she represents. Congratulations, Liz. Donna shares that while she was very far from home, she found a support network here at Mary Baldwin and an educational experience that challenged her academically and gave her the self-confidence to rise to meet those challenges. Donna loved her experience here and is so grateful for meeting new and lifelong friends. Congratulations, Donna. Jan is also unable to be with us this evening, but she sends her memory of feeling equally challenged and supported in all that she did at Mary Baldwin. She remains in touch with many of you and her dear friends from South Bailey Dorm. We send our congratulations to Jan. Anne reflects back to say that her time at Mary Baldwin was a life-expanding and fun experience. Through her time here, she created treasured friendships and was challenged both in and out of the classroom. Congratulations, Anne. Stephanie shares a memory of a most transformative experience while being among the first group of French majors to study abroad in Paris her junior year. She often says to others that it was a good experience, but she also remembers it as a turbulent time for Paris in the spring of 1968 due to the student and worker riots. She remains grateful that news traveled much slower back then so that she could share the experience with her fellow classmates on the trip. Congratulations, Stephanie. Susan is unable to join us tonight, but she sends her warm greetings to all of her lifelong friends, and we send our congratulations to Susan. So at this time, we would invite other participants who have joined us this evening who have not yet been named. Please unmute, introduce yourself, and share a special memory of your time at Mary Baldwin.
That's okay. I'll turn this.
Adrian, are you going to unmute everybody for a minute here?
Oh, they have the ability to unmute themselves, but
Okay.
I was just double checking the list, and I think with all success, congratulations everyone for RSVPing so that we could have your slide in the presentation. So kudos to the class of 1970.
And look at those beautiful medallions. I wish I could have put them on you personally, but they look so fine. Congratulations, everybody.
Well, thank you so much. And I also just want to extend a personal note of congratulations to each of you. It's truly, truly a pleasure to share tonight with you. And I'm also celebrating my first Grafton Society induction ceremony here at Mary Baldwin University. So indeed, this occasion is special for all of us tonight. And we would very much like to commemorate the occasion by taking a group photo right here on Zoom. And where we would normally be gathering in the lobby of the newly renamed Hotel 24 South for this photo. It's 2020 and we're gonna do things a little differently because why not? So if you are comfortable having your photo taken, please prepare your cameras, get your lighting worked out, and then just hold up your medallion so we can see it right next to your face. And I am going to go into gallery mode and I will take a few photos with my camera as well as a few screen captures. So just keep on smiling and don't forget to say cheese until I tell you we are golden. Cheese. All right.
Good idea.
Got my camera ready. And so here we go. If you want to be on, make sure your camera's on. Hold up your medallions. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody smile, say cheese.
Cheese.
Wonderful. You all look gorgeous. Great. So I'm going to take just a few more photos on my computer. So hold on just one moment. All right. Hold up those medallions. And here we go. I'll take one more. Hold on just a moment. I'll let you rest your face for just a second. You can tell I do this at events too, huh, folks? All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. You look lovely. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm just going to capture this really quickly. Perfect. Thank you so, so much. Let me save this real quick so I don't forget it. And we are good to keep going. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you all again so much. Again, you look lovely, you look proud, you look great donning those medallions, and we just appreciate you letting us indulge in this wonderful tradition that we have of taking a class photo, albeit in a very different method this year. So I want to now take this time to invite Janie Satterfield and Liz Shoup to lead the class in a very special tribute and memorial for the members of your class who have gone before us. Janie and Liz.
Well, thank you, Adrian. While we gather in celebration this evening, and there is indeed much for us to celebrate, we also want to take time tonight to recognize and remember those from our class who were dear to us and who have gone before us in this life. It is a special and important part of our union gatherings to name and remember our classmates. Our minds and spirits are warmed by the memories we share of them and carry with us still today. Before we begin, I'd like to share with you a special prayer. Eternal God, we praise you for the great company of all those who have finished their course in life. We praise you for those dear to us whom we will name tonight and who reside in our hearts and memories. We lift up our class and we lift up the families of those who have departed this life. Let perpetual light shine upon us and help us to believe that our lives may be profitable as well. Keep true in the love with which we love one another. Bring your peace that passes all understanding into our lives until we may be rejoined again in love. Amen.
Amen.
You will now see a special presentation as we call the names of our deceased classmates and dear friends.
Oh,
Margaret Peggy Bivens. Carolyn Carlton. Erica Davis. Zoe Durrell. Alice Eichel. Joanne Guider. Gail Halsey. Lynn Hartman. Joanne Hoffman.
Julia Kaiser. Carol Kaiser. Janet Moore. Bryce Oliver. Kathy Maxwell. Linda Peary. Travis Taylor. Elaine Weidman. Virginia Weiskittle. At this time, we invite you to unmute and share any other names of classmates whom we yet have not recognized.
Thank you all for allowing us to pay tribute to these special women and fellow alumni. We also want to pay tribute to Ma and Pa Page, our beloved class sponsors. Whether you knew them as Mr. and Mrs. Page, Gordon and Mopsy, or Ma and Pa Page, you knew the Pages held our class in high regards and served proudly as our class sponsors. Ma and Pa Page were dear to each of us, often filling in as our parents away from home, taking us under their wings, caring for us, and keeping us connected with one another through our time here at Mary Baldwin and beyond. There are so many special memories of Mr. Page, leading the choir while we were students, and then inviting us back to sing in the alumni choir during reunion weekends. I'm sure you can remember all of those practices and practically missing reunion activities just to make sure we got the pieces just right. But through his spirit and search for perfection, our voices sounded like angels as we filled our beloved hills with sweet melody under his direction. Mrs. Page was the most hospitable person we knew, and we always found ourselves cared for while in her presence. I recall countless times being invited into their home as a student and then as an alumni during our reunions for our class parties and gatherings. Together, the Pages were a beautiful and very special couple, and they continued to share their love of our class with us until the very end. In recognition of the special place that Mr. and Mrs. Page, Ma and Pa, held in our hearts, we invite you to remain muted and sing along to the Mary Baldwin hymn, written by Pa. You will find the lyrics in the chat room.
Thank you. I want to now invite Chuck Davis, our Vice President of University Advancement, to lead us in some closing remarks this evening.
Well, good evening. What an honor and joy to be with each of you tonight. It is really awful to be the last person on the program particularly when you're sandwiched in between something so beautiful and moving as the hymn to Mary Baldwin sung in the historic First Presbyterian Church of Stanton, and what will follow me, which is hopefully a robust and joyous cocktail hour virtually. I will tell you that I do have my Mary Baldwin Lolita glass. It has sparkling water in it tonight since I am working, but it is just so lovely to be with each of you tonight. I would also like to just say a quick word of thanks to Adrienne Teague, our relatively new Director of Alumni Engagement. She makes our work both joyful and productive, and just has a heart for each of you and for this institution. So I would like to just say a word of thanks to her for her tireless work on behalf of all of the Mary Baldwin alumni. Also, thank you to Dr. Fox, to Gabby McCree, Liz Shoup, Janie Husk Satterfield. I see Linda Pratt. I mean, many people that I've had the great joy of meeting in my first year and a few months as the new Vice President for advancement here. Our goal in advancement is to be of service to you. We have very important work to do to advance the mission of Mary Baldwin, which is more critical now than it ever has been. So we're delighted to do that work. I'm also very pleased tonight to let you know that your class did well in reunion giving in a year which was tumultuous at best, and with some bumps in the road, some great joy and some disappointment. We're really pleased to announce that collectively you raised over $27,000 for the university. Many of you made gifts in honor of Dr. Lott, which was lovely. I would encourage each of you to come back to Mary Baldwin, we hope, in person in June for reunion weekend, at which time we will honor Dr. Lott with a special token from the class for the generosity and the gifts that you have made in his honor. You know, we have learned a lot in the pandemic. There have been a lot of sad days and there have been a lot of joyous days as well. What we have learned through alumni engagement is that we can reach a lot more people through this venue than we ever could had we not gone through this period of time in the life of our country and the world. So it's been ironically wonderful in some ways to see people that would have never come to Stanton perhaps for an in-seat or in-person event. So my instinct is, and I think Adrienne's nodding her head, that we probably will always continue some level of virtual engagement to enhance that which we hopefully will do in person as we come to a safer time in which we can do that. I will also say just very quickly, giving to Mary Baldwin is important, and we are grateful to each of you who do that. I have no trepidation and no shame in my role as working with the president as one of the chief fundraisers of the institution. Every gift matters to this place. Every gift matters, particularly now in a time of great unsettledness in our world, with the pandemic continuing to put many of us on edge, with a lot of the expenses that were seen at the university to prepare for the safe return of our students. All of these things cost money, and it's important now as it ever has been to support Mary Baldwin as you are able. So that's important work, and we're grateful to each of you who do that every year. It is a joy now to turn the program back over to Adrienne. Know that we're grateful to each of you. We're appreciative of all the ways in which you support your alma mater. And I know Adrienne joins me in thanking each of you for the honor and joy of serving this place in this time. So good night. Have a lovely cocktail hour, and Liz Shoup wins the award for the best background. Thank you all, and good night.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And so now we are going to officially close the program portion of the evening, and I'm going to stop the recording. So we're going to say farewell to all of you at home and wish you good health and well-being.